Hello, hello everyone. Today we will start reading our first story for this week in our reading workshop. Okay, and the title of our story is called "Finding Cal." And the idea or the question of this week would be: how can a pet be an important friend? How can how can we have how can a pet be special to you? Okay, so a pet can be a special friend because it can keep you company, so it can be a companion. A companion is like a person who keeps you company, like a friend that you can spend time with. Okay, but let's read a story and see how this boy and his new pet formed a friendship, or what kind of relationship did they have. Okay, let's start. Finding Cal on page 55. Dear Diary, September 25th. It took Dad a long time to decide. He finally made up his mind. Dad came to my room tonight. He said I could get a dog, but it has to be a small or medium-sized dog. We will go to the animal shelter tomorrow. Okay. Here, as you see, the story is written like it's in a notebook. Okay. A diary is like a book that a person keeps and writes his notes, or how he feels. So a diary is a notebook or a book that a person writes. It can be daily. He can write in it every day. He can write every week about things that happen to him. Okay, and here, as you see, it starts with Dear Diary. He's talking to this book. The diary is a book or a notebook that a person keeps to write about things or special events that happen to him. And he wrote the date. So he wrote in his diary on September 25th. He wrote, it took Dad a long time to decide. He's been waiting for a very long time for his dad to make a decision. Okay? Decide is to choose to do something. And his dad finally decided and told him that he can have a pet dog. But his dad said the dog has to be small or medium size, and they will go to the animal shelter to choose a dog. So what is an animal shelter? An animal shelter is when they find dogs or cat on the street that don't have homes. People collect them from the street and take them to a shelter. Okay, remember, the word shelter is a home or a place for protection. So an animal shelter is where they take animals such as cat and dogs from the street and put them in homes, because these animals don't have homes. And people usually go to visit animal shelters if they want to get a dog or a cat to have as a pet. Right? Let's go to page 56. Dear Diary, September 26th. This is the next day. Wow, there are so many different dogs at the shelter. There are big and little dogs. Some have soft fur, some have wiry hair. So he's saying that he was so surprised to see different types of dogs at the shelter. They have different sizes because some are big and some are small. Some have very soft fur. Fur is the hair that covers the animal's body. Okay, so some dogs have very soft hair or soft fur, and some have wiry hair. Wiry is like long hair like wires. Okay, Dad and I walked to one dog's cage. The tag said the dog's name was Cal. One quick glance at the cute dog and I knew he was for me. Dad said, "Look, Jake, look at how Cal stares at you." It was true. His eyes were wide open. He was looking right at me. Okay, so while they were at the animal shelter, Jake and his dad walking around, going from one cage to the other, looking at different dogs. And then they stopped at one cage, and Jake saw that a dog had a tag. A tag is like something on his neck, and like a necklace on the dog's neck, and he said that the dog's name was Cal. He said one quick glance at the cute dog. Jake looked at him. A glance is to look at something really quick, to look at something quickly and turn around. He as soon as he saw that dog, he knew that this dog was for him, that he wanted this dog. And even Jake's dad noticed. He said, look, Jake, this dog is staring at you. Stare means to look at something for a long time. So when the dogs saw Jake, he was staring at him. He kept looking at Jake, and his eyes were wide open, and he was looking right at Jake. Page 57. We put Cal on a leash and took him to a fence yard. Cal smiled and stared at me. Cal wanted to play. In minutes, he learned the proper or correct way to sit. He could walk on a leash nicely too. I patted him on the head and he licked my hand. So after that, Jake and his dad took Cal to a fence yard, an open area that was surrounded by a fence. This, as you see here in the picture, the brown stakes at the back, this is a fence, like a gate. Okay, they took Cal to an area that was surrounded by a fence. Okay, and he held him in a leash. Cal was smiling and he kept staring at Jake, and he wanted to play. Jake said that he learned how to sit in the correct way, and he knew how to walk with a leash. A leash is a string that connects the dog, and the boy can hold it with his hand, like a long string. Okay, and Jake was very happy that the dog knew how to sit in a correct way, and he knew how to walk with a leash, that he patted his head. Pat means to touch lightly on the head, and the dog licked his hand. On page 58, Dad said, I see a real connection between you and Cal. I agreed. We already had a good relationship. Soon we were on our way home. Cal was nervous, so I tried to make him feel better. I scratched his ears, and he liked it. So when they took Cal home, Cal started feeling a bit nervous. Remember, the word nervous is to feel afraid and worried, because Cal has never been to Jake's house. So Jake started scratching his ears, the dog's ears, and he liked it. Scratch means to do like something with the nails, like scratch, to go back and forth with his nails on his ears. Okay, and Dad said that they have a connection, means they start to become closer and to have a relationship. They started to know each other more and to understand each other. Okay, next at the paragraph at the bottom, it says, Dear Diary, October 10th. It has been a while since I have written. Cal has learned many new tricks, like to roll over. I have learned from Cal too. So after a while, Jake wrote again in his diary, and he said that that he has taught his dog Cal how to do many tricks and to roll over, and Cal has become a very good friend. On 59, Cal walks with Dad and me to school every day. Each night, Dad reads to me a story. Cal lies next to me. I would not trade him for any other dog. I will keep him because our friendship is very special. Finding Cal was worth the wait. Okay, it says here at every day, Cal walks with him and Dad, with Jake and Dad to school. Every night, Dad would read Jake a story, and Cal would be next to him. And he said he would not trade him for any other dog. The word trade here means to switch. Like he would not give He would not give his dog to anyone and take another dog or another pet. Okay, I will keep him because our friendship is very special. Okay, they have a special relationship. They became friends. And he said that waiting for Cal to be his pet was worth it. Okay, how is Cal an important friend to Jake? Okay, here's a question. How did Cal become an important friend to Jake? They had a connection. They understood each other quickly, and they became good friends. And anything that Jake would teach him, he would learn how to sit properly, to walk with a leash, to do tricks. He would walk with Jake to school every day. He would lie next to him in bed, and they became very close. Okay, if we decided to make a short, remember, here we're gonna focus on three things: character, setting, and events. Okay, and here every story has three parts. Every story has a beginning, middle, and end. So if we start with the beginning of the story, we would say that the main character here in the beginning of the story would be Jake, right? Jake wrote in the beginning of the story that in his diary at home that he was very excited because his dad decided that he can finally have a pet dog. So, who is the main character here in the beginning of the story? Jake. Where are they? He's at home writing in his diary. What did he write in his diary? That he is very excited or happy that he will be getting a new pet dog because his dad finally agreed. He's been waiting for a very long time for his dad to agree for him to get a dog. Okay, is that it? No, there's the middle part of the story and there's also the end. What happened? The next day, Jake and Dad, where did they go? They went to the shelter. Let's go to the next page and see. So in the middle of the story, Jake and his dad, where did they go? They went to the animal shelter. What did they do at the animal shelter? They were looking at different kinds of dogs for Jake to choose as a pet. Okay? They went from one cage to another cage until Jake saw a dog named Cal. As soon as he saw Cal, he knew that this dog was for him. And also Cal was staring at him. He kept looking at Jake. So Jake decided that he wanted Cal to be his pet. Of course, later on it also said that he took Cal to a fence yard and they were playing together. Okay, what happened at the end of the story? Again, Jake was writing in his diary at his home, and he wrote that his friendship he has a strong friendship with his pet dog Cal. Cal walks with him and Dad to school every day. He lies next to Jake on bed every night listening to the story. Jake taught him many tricks and they became very good friends. Okay, so again, the character is who are the people or animals in the story. Setting is the place and the events. And again, we have this story is a fiction. So, and any story has a beginning, middle, and end. So we discussed the characters in the beginning and the setting and the events in the beginning, the middle, and the end. All right. What about the genre? The genre of the story is fiction. What does fiction mean? Fiction here means that the story is not a real story and the characters are not real. Okay? So a fiction is not a story that is not real and the characters are not real. Okay? In a fiction story, there's a beginning, middle, and end.